WESWES, y'all.
Right, yo, welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Empty Out the Clip from the WESWES Network. Empty Out the Clip, the EOTC. EOTC. Find us on Facebook, our Empty Out the Clip group page. Just go in there and pass the test. You get free questions to answer. You pass the test, you can get right in and throw in your 5 cents, your 10 cents for the pot. Just like to welcome the brothers, my brothers, Ave and Let's. What's up?
What's
good?
up?
Good to see you.
What's cracking?
Oh, good. We'll just go around to do some shout outs. We'll do some shout outs first.
Yeah, I'll just shout out to all the listeners, to all the people that have come up to me and I've totally forgotten. Shout out to you guys and for just jumping on the episodes and listening in. Thank you.
Nice. Shout out to the Docs Mickey, man. He's in the property game now. He's became a homeowner, so he's purchased his first place
Nice.
during the week. And shout out to all the parents and volunteers taking tag this year. I think that's in March. First time the Tugs haven't submitted a contingent this year. And yeah, it's pretty sad because at one point we had like 6 teams. Then we went to having more teams in Samoa. Last year they were the second overall, the amount of teams they had. And also to the volunteers and also the people help coach and manage the Pacific Rugby League for the youth Pacific Cup that's coming up. So yeah, I think they're going to be broadcasting that on Sky.
Oh, man.
So stay tuned, man. Yeah.
Oh, yo.
Some future guests coming on the back of the 135 should be showing face for that. But now we're behind you guys all the way, man. Tonga, Samoa, things Fiji, Tokelau, and the Cooks. So this is going to be epic, man. Good to see the up and coming talent that's pretty much born and bred out in NZ. So yeah, see all these NRL people going to be here for this. Yeah. Poaching.
I just want to make shout out to all my work colleagues. We're back in the first week of work of 2023. I just want to say, guys, man, that was the fucking longest week I had ever, man. And I actually took Monday off, and it was still fucking long ass, man. You know, when you're in that holiday mode and go back to work, the first day is hardy. Because, man, I remember looking at the time, and it was like 2 o'clock. I was like, what? Feels like it's at 7 o'clock p.m., man. It's like fucking just 2 p.m.
We know this, though, because you've said it before. Like, whenever it's the short week with Monday off.
It's long.
And they're like, oh, fuck, hurry up Tuesday. Yeah, they're just like, it's only Tuesday. Fuck, come on, Wednesday. And then we have an episode like, fuck, that was a long week.
I know, bro. And yeah, I just want to make shout out to my work colleagues, man. We made it. We did the first week of the whole year under our belts, man. Damn, that was a fast holiday, man. But just had a wake up call going to work this past week, and yeah, just glad it's the weekend right now.
That's me, Moose. You know, carrying over from last year. Like, remember I was like up in the office with the HR. You know what? I'm going for 5 months straight, man.
Oh, man.
I'm already like 3, and I'm at 3.5. And I'm almost 4 months deep. No days off. I'm like, fuck yeah, come at me. When I get to my 5 months, I'll be like, yeah, fuck what? If you're working us, man, you know. So yeah, that's my goal, man. And then try and do some way as well. So.
Solid.
How was your week?
Back to training again. Just loving the freedom of having my own space, my own place. Looking forward to getting home and cooking my meals, getting my Netflix ready.
Walking, get it forward down the hallway.
I feel sorry for the neighbors. Just another good week, solid week of training. Been eating a lot of chicken this week, a lot of protein.
I've seen all your videos, bro. Getting good, bro. 30 seconds. You're packing in a lot of content there for the 30-second reel you got.
Yeah. Oh,
that's good, bro.
Sure things. Just staying active. Saw my niece. I went out to see my niece. I went out south. So normally they come out here, but I went out on I think Wednesday. It was good to see my niece. running around. She got her little hoop. Yeah.
Have you Les? How's your week?
Yeah, it was like you. It felt long, eh? It felt long. But like even today, like I finished this morning. I left for work yesterday. There was about 5 or 4 o'clock. I left for work. I was wide awake, so I haven't had a sleep.
Damn.
So yeah, I'm just running on hype.
On life.
Yeah, Brad.
Life,
you know what it
man.
is, bro? I don't want to miss anything. Like I actually made time. Like I told my kids, let's get up and do something, and then I ended up moaning at them. I was I'm like, I don't know what it is, man. Like, I keep saying like we're living on borrowed time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but it's like I feel like I have to do something with the kids because I want them to have memories.
Yeah.
And my younger kids, they're these the device kids, and I don't get it, man. Like I seriously don't get it. It's like, oh, how do we do it like without one of them going, oh, no, I don't want to go. It's sort of hard, eh? It's like, you know. But yeah, like today, I ended up saying something like, it's gonna make me sound like a guy, but I said something like, man, and God forbid I passed away tomorrow, you would have no memories of me because all you wanted to do was stay home. Like, I almost feel like saying to you, don't come to my friend because why are you crying? You're just crying because you have no reason to cry because you didn't have solid memories of me.
Yeah.
Like between the ages of 8 and 14, those are the times you want to make memories, right? But I remember that age you were like, oh man, I don't go. And that your parents would drag you along to stuff.
Yeah.
But you always came home smiling. Oh man, you had time with all of your cousins. And I keep saying that. I'm like trying to relay that message to my kids. Like, man, like if we go to the pools just because you can't go swimming, sit on the side of the pool and talk to me. Like, shucks, tell me about a phone you want or tell me about something you want to do. Like, you know, it's hard trying to relay that to the kids, man. It's like, shit, so fixated on their phones. Yeah, I just had that conversation today and I was like, it wasn't pleasant, but it almost made them laugh. I was like, well, didn't you think it's true? Like, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, people come with them and say, oh, man, your dad was a good guy, man. Always used to, you know, look out for me. And then what are you going to say? Oh, yeah, my dad, they got nothing to say. I don't know.
You're right, man. Especially in this era of internet and devices.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, like we just want to play with our cousins and that run
Go
around
outside.
and that. And I think those events, those family events, like the elders are fine just amongst themselves, with the kids playing around outside.
Yeah.
Like I think they were just happy that the kids are there having fun, and they're just there with their, you know, with their siblings or cousins and they're just having family time like that. But you're right, man. Like back in those days, when we come home from school, just straight out the door, play outside. You know, play with the neighbors' kids and play on the street, that kind of stuff. Oh,
That's it, man.
Yeah.
I just felt like myself getting to the point where I had to just emphasize, like seriously, like, man, what are you gonna say? Someone asked you, like, oh, do you miss your dad? You probably gonna say, nah. But it's a two-way street. It's like a two-way thing, you know? Because I haven't slept, right? Because I wanted to take them out today, so we ended up going for lunch. But it wasn't the initial plan that I wanted to do, you know? So I was like, man, get up, let's go for a swim. Let's go to the pools. Then we can have lunch and you can come back.
I think you do that stuff anyway. Because I remember before, like when you took the kids to Pegginsave. For grocery shopping, you took a photo of them with you guys all shopping together and seeing them put on the chat. And I was thinking, gee, that's quality time. Man.
Yeah, man.
That's quality time. They remember that stuff.
Well, that's what I want my kids to remember. Like in the holidays, though, you know what I mean? Not just during the week when it's school week. I'm almost trying to teach them life lessons that I wish I got taught and got an understanding of why. You know what I mean? Like, because for example, it's like when we do the Pack and Save shop, I want my kids to be able to think for me as if I was standing right next to them, but I'm in the car. If it came to the point where like, shit, like, we don't have enough money, you got to sacrifice something. So what are you going to sacrifice? And like, I put my kids under the pump and I want them to feel that stress. Because it's like, oh, what do? You know, because I've been into Pack and Save like during the festival season, and I've seen like elderly or like you know, young guys like on their lunch break and they don't have it. But I've got it. Like if I knew that the teller said, oh, there's a decline, there's nothing there, I would pay for it. You know, just so they can have some lunch or so the lady can just get on with her day. But when the kids are in that situation, I want them to be like, oh no, we've got this at home. I know, or we can just make it stretch, without them going, oh shit, we can't have chop suey now because, we're like $2 short. I was like, nah, we can have chop suey, but just means you gotta maybe put the rations back or like, something like that.
Yeah.
But I can't do it. Yeah, I gotta sort of get them to the point. And then you gotta figure it out for yourself, But yeah, my girl who just left intermediate, like she was probably the worstest one. I was like, when we did it, and I was like, so what are we gonna put back? And she says, she put like 2 or 3 things. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have missed the exercise altogether. But where's my oldest man? She's got it on point. And she's like, no, just put that back. We'll just have instead of having like a beef chop suey, we'll have a pork chop suey. Because it's like a couple of dollars cheaper, and we can still get our mac and cheese and make the rest of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, see, that's why you're the star player, G. And then I always rather, that's why you're the favorite. I tell all that because you're my favorite, but when it comes to a point, it's like, man, do you want to be the kid that dad used to always be like, kaya kele, makiva kakuai, just that one.
Okay, to the shopping, guys. I just want to know, like, are you good with, like, do you do a shopping list, or do you like go there and just remember what to get at home? Like, what's your guys' routine?
No, they never shopping list,
You don't?
No. But yeah, they never shopping list. Just grab it. And if we get double ups, then we get double ups. So if we miss something, we miss something.
Oh, you have that luxury? Okay.
Yeah. No,
it's not. When we double up, it's not a luxury. It's like, oh, damn it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we actually just don't have a list, that's all.
The funniest one is when you can have like 4 packets of spoons and no knives. Or like all the plates and no cups.
But because I have no list, you know what I do? I ring up. Someone's at home. Oh, can you check if we got this or that?
So I got a friend, right? Like sometimes she'll send me out to do a shopping, right? And then she'll send me like the list. I swear, all the time I've always missed one item. Like it'll be this one time I think I missed the cream. Like we were supposed to do like chicken fettuccine, but I forgot the cream, But then I was like, but don't you have milk at home? But I'm like, just guessing is the milk, and cream sort of the same, but not the same when you eat it, eh? But I'm the worst, and she will vouch. I'm the worst with the shopping list. Like if you gave me a list, I'm guaranteed. Oh, did he want is it spaghetti or baked beans? Which one? I'm the worst.
But you can improve on that list too. You can improve on the list. Now I'm the same. I have to write a list, but I always have that like $20 buffer, like in case I go over, and then in case I see something that's on sale, like 2 for $5, or like 3 for $5. I always do that. So if it's like chips and that, I make sure that I've got the list. And we're usually pretty good because we always know how much everything costs, though.
I think the reason why I get my shopping list off is that I'm just like worried about what I'm gonna get, like okay, don't forget the ice cream, don't forget the
that's true,
food,
Yeah, just worry about all the stuff that you need for your shopping. Hey, I was like, oh damn it, did I forget the cream? I told you should have came in. Yeah,
and the XA, she was like really tight with the whole shopping thing, like really tight. Like she even had the calculator. Typing in each item, how much, so she can get to understanding how much it's gonna cost at the end. But she'll even go to the stickers where the price stickers, and if you look closely on the price stickers, it goes one item for 1 per 20 cents per item.
Yeah.
She'll count that. She'll count that as well.
Oh, what?
You know what I mean? Like for toilet paper, for instance, like all different brands, different prices, right? So she'll break down how many toilet paper for that amount of money.
Oh yeah.
And if there's less money than the amount of toilet paper, she'll go for that one. But she has to look at the sticker to read the per toilet paper.
I do that with the meat though. I do that with meat.
The kgs.
The per grams, yeah. Because it makes no sense. Like I think Packins have had it where they had the shirimi frozen, and it was like $4.95. Then you walked over and the freshly already thawed out, or stuff that's already thawed out, was cheaper per 800 grams, which was like $4.75. So it makes more sense to buy the thawed out stuff.
You do that with
Did
the
you
lamb
say-
leg too.
Oh yeah,
Because the lamb leg, because the bone is adding
Oh,
to the
bro.
weight. But
You
you
know
can
what?
go to the not freezers, but the fridge, the meat
the
fridge.
soft stuff.
Yeah, the soft stuff.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
they already cut the
Cut the
meat
bone out.
off the bone,
Yeah,
and it's cheaper.
most butchers do it. I think I went and saw a butcher in Castle and they had broken the leg, but it's a shoulder. And I was like, oh, what was the leg? Oh, this is without the bone. But no, they debone, so you're not paying for the weight of the bone.
Oh man, okay. The way I do my shopping is that because I look for anything like with the meat, especially the meat, anything under $10, and I see so I look at damn, there's like it's like $8 something, but there's like 6 legs, and then I look at the other one. It's a bit bigger, but there's 4, but it costs a little bit more. So you always go anything under $10.
That's a
That's
good
how
way of looking at
I
it too.
gauge it.
To make sure, you get value for money.
More.
Yeah, more. I know.
Because you're
Economy.
no man, hey bro.
So you're gonna eat afterwards and later. Then
Breakfast, lunch, nah.
There's this other trick too, because there was a stage where I was going to back and save every day after work just to get something. And I remember I had this craving for just having salmon and
Bro.
and fish. So every day for a whole week I'll get salmon or fish, right? But then I found out that on one particular day, I think it was a Tuesday or Monday, that everything was cheap. But it was the last day that fish was allowed to be on the shelf.
Yeah.
So they actually put the price down when the expiry
See.
date's nearly up.
yeah, no, it's good to shop like that. That's what I think it's the rebate that they have at Costco. So if it's 1 or 2 days, then they give you the rebate price. So that fish, like, just loaded on the shelf price, and then 2 days before, like, it's used by, then they bring
put
it
it
down
down.
right down, and they give it back to you.
But the thing is, you gotta actually cook it that day. And you can't put it in your fridge. And
Oh, a lot of the stuff is usually in these aircon type or air, like
Sealed bags.
sealed bags, yeah, sealed packaging. Like I know they do that with a lot of the cheese, man. Like damn, I think my wife bought like 3 blocks of cheese for like under $4
What?
a kg. Yeah, man. It's
Wow.
like 3 different cheeses this whole weekend because we having toasties. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, man.
but then
that's
I'm
the
like,
go-to.
not the going back on the bread. It's hard to shake out.
I know this is just. I mean, it's still on the topic of shopping, but off. I mean, it's sort of like an off topic. But how do you feel? Because I get annoyed all the time, right? So I have a friend, right? That I like. We do shopping together, and then sometimes I'll go in, and she'll say, "Oh, hey, can you get my pads as well?" Like my reaction, I want to hear everyone's like reaction or story or whatever. But every time I ask her, like, "Oh, which one is it?" Because all I see is Ultra, and then she has to remind me it's the I think they call it thins or the wings or whatever. So I look for I don't know how you guys feel, but I get annoyed all the time. I mean, I used to be embarrassed. I used to be like, okay, make sure no one's around and just do those, just flick it on the, make sure and then just flick it on the counter.
Wait, but is she a friend or is she a friend plus? Friends, like, otherwise I'd say run. Run.
No, yeah, but every time I got asked, how do you guys like buy it, and how do you feel like if you do?
Nah, man, I try not to put myself in that situation. Eh?
Oh, you're smart.
No, because I like my whole thing is like I'll do kongai and I'll do snack shops, but I only want to go once. So I knew like whatever snacks is in the fridge, in the cupboards, because I already bought it.
Oh
on
yeah.
Sunday. Yeah, no, the lady buzz, the lady buzz, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There,
man.
there was one time I had to do it. I had to go on, but I had trouble finding it, and I was thinking to myself, "Damn, I'm just staring at the section in the aisle for over 3 minutes. Too long, man." But Cookie grabbed it and found it. Cookie grabbed it and
Yeah.
put it amongst the rest of the shopping, so it's all good.
Hidden.
It must be funny when you're standing there, like, fuck, what
Yeah.
sorry. And it's not even on the right shelf, and then someone else goes in, they're like, "Oh, you looking for the And then you go, what one is it, honey?
Yeah, bro. I remember this one time I had a video caller.
Oh,
and
damn.
I'm like, you know, which one is it, man? It's the thins. I'm like, bro.
It's funny because you got Google now. You can just type it in, screenshot it, send it.
But no, like that feeling, right? There's that feeling, but then there's also, for me anyway, I don't know about you guys, but we're buying a pack of condoms at the supermarket. You know, like that's the same kind of feeling, I think. From my experience anyway. Like the embarrassed kind of feeling.
I wouldn't mind buying condoms, but you know, yeah, that's okay with me. But yeah, just the
I'll be shooting blanks or whatever. May mau kupe. I don't have family planning my free.
go see your GP, buddy.
All right, boys. Before we get into our first topic, what's trending on your social media? So when you're sitting on the Whaliwili at home and scrolling through your phone, what's been popping up that's taking your interest?
What I've been like I said last week. It's not really what's on my social media, but what I always watch in the evenings. So I jump on my Netflix, and I've been watching. There was this. It's like the African Contender. It's on Netflix. It's like I forgot what it's called. But it's like it's Nigerian.
Is it like boxing?
Yeah, boxing, mixed martial arts.
Oh.
I watched the first couple of episodes. You know, yeah, it's really I can see what they're trying to. It's like a contender, but you know, it's run by the Nigerians. Just the language barrier itself, you know, just trying to get.
Can you give us a sample?
Oh man, it's bro, yeah. And it's sort of like real talk, like a budget version of it, you know. But I can see what they're trying to do. They got a contender house, you know. It's not it's similar to that, you know. But I was watching bits of it. It's funny. The guys, their gingos, their bodies, they look solid,
Yeah.
solid bodies. But when it comes to like the fighting, oh man. Yeah.
Hey, just like what you were saying about the Mark Hansen SVW, mate. You can have that king all LA, but if you can't take it a punch, mate.
Yeah. You know, that's what I've been training, watching reality TV shows on Netflix. I watched and then I watched this Joe Rogan just a snippet of this guy who was in prison and how they have like their own laws and, you know, rules in prison. He's a white guy, but everyone thought he was a skinhead. But he went and played. Oh, this is just the story, right? He went and played chess with this black guy, you know. But when he first came in, all the Woods and the skinheads or whatever, you know, like, he's one of us, blah blah blah. But then they saw him play chess with a black guy on the black table or whatever. Everyone was out. All the whites were after him, you know. It was just good to hear his story, and then how like they go from he had a fight, and then they moved them to this other like jail or whatever, and then word got out, like, and then the guys in that jail were still after him, you know, even though he was white, like them, bald headed too. Yeah, I love watching the Joe Rogan stuff. He's got a lot of interesting people on there. Eh? He had this one guy where they it's like have you heard about that? It's like magic mushrooms, but it's magic honey.
No.
Like if you have there's this place in Nepal where the side of a cliff they got these beehives, right? But whatever the bees eat, whatever they, you know, the nectar of the honey or whatever, they you know they have it in here, but it's a mixture of all these plants. So these guys, they have to climb up on the side of the cliff, like they start smoke. They make handmade smokes in their hands, so the bees can get confused, you know. And then what they do is that the bees go where the smoke is, and they're all blind or whatever because of the smoke. They cut the nectar down, and then they put in jars. And apparently, if you take a scoop of this like magic honey, you hallucinate for 24 hours. You can't feel your legs.
Damn.
Man, it's like real. That's on that Joe Rogan Experience, the podcast and that.
Because it's like mushrooms, eh? Like psychedelics, eh?
Yeah, it's like
So I wonder what that kind of nectar what is mixed with to make that. Into that.
And it's real rare because it's on the side of a cliff where these beehives are. So for these people to risk their own lives to go up there, obviously, it's going to cost a lot because he was saying it's mainly China and Japan that buy that honey pot or whatever. Yeah, no, I get it. Like, that's what I've been watching stuff like that, man.
Well done, Dr. Discovery.
Discovery of it.
Discovery of it.
Yeah, man.
No, man, I want to make a shout out to all the social media platforms, especially Facebook, man. They've been showing a lot of street outlaws. Like, street outlaws, man, started out as a 2 episode on Discovery, then with Discovery Turbo, and then it ended up on Rush. And was it Soho? No, not Soho. Might have been another, maybe Prime. But bro, these are like all those guys that like invest all their money or their hobby money into racing the quarter mile, like with their cavales. And they went from Pro Mods, which is like in nitrous cars, to like pretty much twin turbo. Like it's the bee's knees, eh? And it's the same guys, man. The same guys from Oklahoma that have a team. And then over the years, they've had like rallies where they say they verse like South Auckland, like Texas, and then they go head to head. But then they place bets, and like they have side bets. But then they race team against team.
Yeah.
So whoever cleans up, all the money. But it's the side bets. Say like some people get sucked into like, I will race you for 500 here, 500 here, deal, and then they get to choose who they want to race. But man, the seasons and the amount of like following that these guys have, so they were just on the street, and like because it's recorded, it's almost like it's not real, because these guys need to test their cars,
like scripted.
Yeah, so it's scripted. Like eventually all the views were like, that's bullshit. Like if they did that guy's car would have been, because it's illegal, and plus the noise that comes from the tires, the burnouts. I was like, nah, that's set up. So eventually they've gone from doing the streets inside the stadiums, like the actual drag strips, and they call it like no preps. So the no prep is like there's no burnout, it's just straight off the trailer. You draw the name out of the hat, and then you're verse like Ave and Letty. They're the first off the trailer, and then they get maybe one hit and then race. But man, it's gangster, eh? Like
what's it called?
Street outlaws.
That's interesting, eh? Because like they're gonna test how much your car's prepared, eh?
Yeah.
Like when you come off the trailer, there's no touching it, eh?
Yeah,
Straight race, eh?
But and I think a lot of it's like if you think about the Godzilla when it came into play, because you remember when they raced the Godzilla at Bathurst against V8 cars, and so these were like legit race cars, right? And these are Japanese cars racing against Holdens, like GM motors. These guys are now using the twin turbos, which is taken from the Skyline, and they're racing them like Pro Mods. You watch Fast and Furious, and that's all nitrous.
Yeah,
that's just straight from like small blocks, bang, and see like a small engine and just boosting it however much. But these guys are running turbos now, so like that's how revolutionized the GTR these guys are racing. Because they say like a real car is like all metal, there's no carbon fiber in that. So these guys are racing actual cars. Oh wow! And like they're so big and so fast. It's like, man, the quarter miles, like these guys are racing quarter miles in like 6-7 seconds. But it's just pretty cool. They got like full on sponsors, because like they get so much like airtime. And like so people that like have their own like restorations and like pro mod cars, like almost like modifying their cars, like they want to see their stuff on the TV, man. Like say, into the clip's got they sponsor like Bagave's car, or Cam's car. Like that's what they want to do, which is good, man. It's like they're doing it themselves instead of getting like like CRC or like Mobile or like all the big guns.
Yeah,
I think it's cool. Like just I've been watching it hard. I mean, like I used to watch it, but we couldn't afford to do the Discovery Channel Turbo, so I ended up just cancelling it. But now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, fuck, Just watching it on my phone. And it's like I can follow all the contenders now, like all the races, as well as watching the episodes. Because, yeah, they're pretty cool, man. But yeah, I'm a nerd like that, eh? Like, that's what I've been watching. But even, man, shout out to Nelly, eh? Because, like, it was at the Juicy Fest, eh? I think one of the shows in you guys, What's Up New Zealand, eh? And he was on Oz. I think that was the first show. I think it was the Brisbane show. Yeah, he came straight off the bat. It was like, "What's up, New Zealand?"
I saw that.
And then he did that one in Melbourne where he's like freaking off see his eyes.
Yeah. What was you?
He was high on some shit.
Hey.
Has to be. Who the hell looks like a guy like that and trying to sing a song? Like, that's the same eyes the Indian guy was giving me when he wanted to fight me.
I thought he was just happy, like.
Hey, you happy like this, man? How you gonna be happy like this? Like, oh man, I just want to thank you, man. Fuck. That's the eyes of synthetics.
Oh, so that wasn't in New Zealand, that clip?
No, that was in Oz.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, very people stitching that up, eh?
Yeah, hard.
Still sounded good, but he looked freaking scary as fuck, eh? Jelly, put your glasses on, man.
I've been listening to this book on my phone. It's called Guys Have All the Fun. It's about the history of ESPN from when they started and then where they are now. It's fucking interesting, eh? Like, I'm on the early chapters, right? And it's funny because right at the beginning, they didn't know they were going to be a 24-hour TV network. But so when they first started, they were actually only from 6 p.m. to midnight. But then I think 3 months later, they changed to 24 hours, but they needed shows and they needed ideas for shows in there. So they had their main guys come in the morning, work 9 to 5, and then they'll go, well, the main guys will go home and the bosses and all that. So you're left with the night shift, right? And the night shift where like there was no supervision or anything like that. So they'll end up having parties in the studio and all that because it was just the young guys, right?
Yeah.
It was just young guys. But it was funny because at the same time, because this was like 1980, 1981, and there was a culture that all these executives had a secretary or an assistant, and they had to be good looking. They had to be, because back then there's no Me Too movement or anything like that. There's no sexist and all that kind of stuff. So it was like a culture thing in the corporate world, not only in ESPN but in the corporate world, like with lawyers and everyone, that you had to have a real good looking skinny assistant. And it was like competition with all the guys, like who's got the best one, and all the guys will talk about it and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, because that was going on, the executives at ESPN had these assistants, and they were like young girls, right? And they were good looking and stuff. But you also had the young guys that come straight out of school that work at ESPN. They're like them in the mail room, doing the bumboy jobs. But they were also the guys that worked the graveyard shift as well, And because they were young, these were the guys that were having all the parties and stuff overnight. But they were always hooking up with these secretary girls, right? But it was out of it because when I was listening to the book, it goes on to say that these parties got out of hand at night. It got so out of hand that one day when the bosses that came in the morning, they were like naked girls sleeping on the in the meeting room, all that on the floor, and there was beer bottles everywhere and all that kind of stuff. But instead of shutting it down, they just said, "Oh no, we just can't do that anymore." That was it. No one got in trouble. No one got fired because it was just like a normal thing. But what was happening was that these guys that worked in the mail room, they would hook up with these chicks and get them to come back at night. But they also hook up with the courier drivers, like the guys from FedEx will come and deliver stuff. They'll hook up with them and say, "Oh, we'll pay us $100 and you can sleep with this girl," and they'll do that. So it was like they were like pimps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll use the studios as that kind of thing.
What the?
But it was like going on for a whole year, but no one said anything about it. Like the bosses would come in the morning and see all the beer bottles and all that, but did nothing about it. They just said, "Oh no, that's just the graveyard shift having fun," So I thought, man, that was out of it.
Yeah. Sounds like Fuck.
But did that like start off as a couple of guys just writing sports columns, and then they started doing like a local town reporting commentary, and then they made it something big?
Well, it started with an idea of it was a father and son. So the father was a radio guy, and he didn't know anything about TV. He was just worked in the radio, and he got fired. So he had a son who was into sports, and he had the idea of, man, imagine if there was a TV channel that was 24 hours sports. And he got his mate who was in insurance. He worked in insurance. He got him on board, and they had to scrounge around for some money. So they asked their family, friends, and $5,000 here, $10,000 here, and they actually paid for a satellite dish.
Oh, okay.
A satellite dish.
Do from their home or something.
It was only $30,000. It was $30,000, but the technology was new. So HBO was there, but HBO was the only network doing satellite. So they wanted to use that same technology as well, but it was brand new in America. So only about 20% of TVs in the whole of America had cable. So it was brand new. So they just jumped on it. But it's sad because these three guys who started ESPN, they actually got kicked out because they started with like minimum sort of budget, like $5,000 here, $10,000 here, but didn't know what to do next. So they just had to look for some other investors. They finally got, you guys know Getty's Oil? It's an oil company.
Mm-hmm.
They got them on board and gave them $5 million.
Wow.
To start up, but since they had no experience, and they had $5 million to put in, they hired like real TV people to come in and help, and then they'll buy people from real TV stations to come over, to quit their jobs and come over. So
pay them.
So you can see what's happening, eh?
Yeah.
They're getting all the right people in.
Yeah.
But these three that started it, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
So they're slowly getting kicked out. And then in the end of the whole thing, they actually did get kicked out. They said, "Oh, you guys don't know what you're doing. Like, we'll buy your shares." Forced them to sell their shares, and they got $6 million. But because they owed all these investors like $10,000, $5,000, heaps, they were left with $750K.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now, man, ESPN's like a jargon all day.
Yeah.
It's like massive.
So this was back in '79.
Wow.
But that's like every American story. Something that's big like that.
Yeah.
They get kicked out or they get bought out.
Or something bad, like business,
Or they got someone that's got a different angle, like when it gets to a certain point and it's not going any higher, they get someone comes in and overlooks it and it's like, take them into a new direction, and then then fuck, these guys they started it. The founder's just a founder.
Well, it made sense that they kicked them out because the founders, they didn't know what they're doing. Like they had an idea, that was it.
It was a good idea though to get people in that knew what they were doing, eh?
But it took a while. It took 10 years to actually get going because they only got NFL in '87 because they started in '79, and they only could do like sports that no one watches.
Oh,
They did AFL too in Australia.
Shit.
Before they blew up.
Back in the days, like they did AFL because they couldn't get the NFL, NBA.
Yeah.
In those days because all the
Damn, I wonder how much.
because they just came out, so they got they got heaps of sports that no one really pays attention, like volleyball and snooker and all those kind of things. All these other sports, but they just slowly just build and build and build, because what they had over the rest of the networks is that it was time because they were the only 24-hour network in town. They could talk for more about sports, and where ABC and all those other networks they can only have like half an hour sports shows, and that was it. Put other programs on, but that was another reason why they kicked them out. One of the founders, because he had the idea, we should put like soap operas on, going away from sports, like trying to put in other blues ideas.
Kick that guy out.
Kick him in the head and they kick him out.
What the hell?
Yeah, man, but it was amazing story, like how things work out.
Yeah, look at it now. It's massive, bro.
Yeah. Well, look how things worked out for Jacinda Ardern. So Jacinda Ardern, she announced, when did she announce? 2 days ago? Tuesday or Wednesday? she announced that she's gonna resign from being PM of New Zealand. Step down on the 7th of February.
Okay.
And there's not gonna be any. There's no indication yet who's gonna take over because the deputy doesn't want to take the job. That's Grant Robinson. So I think they're gonna go down the list, I guess. But yeah, was that a shock for you guys?
I thought it was I don't know, man. We spoke up. Didn't we talk about something along the lines of this happening like a couple of pods ago? Like when William Seal was gonna say, came out and said it, I'm not gonna run again. I mean, that was my take on the basis that, you know, when they said that the vaccine wasn't gonna stop everyone from getting it, and then they went to court. They took those guys to court, and it came out like, yeah, the vaccination, however they made it up, was based on data, and it wasn't tested. Like, this is the government that said it was tested, man. You know, and so for all of that to come out, like, how would your integrity have felt when you went back into caucus, looking across, knowing that these guys put the sheet over everyone's eyes and said, "Hey, it's safe," because they went and did it through the churches, man. You know, they got community groups. They got them even saying it. You know, all the people, they were like, you know, I'm not trying to dog her, but I'm just saying, like, you know, William Seal said he wasn't going to run again. It was just a matter of time now to see who of that like leadership that she had with her are going to run again. And it's showing, man, burnt out, eh? I mean, they've had a lot on their plate, though. I mean, they've dealt with a lot. But the stuff that I will always remember will be the funerals, the stuff that they meant, the mandates, and then, you know, all the stuff about the vaccine. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's not going to, like, that sort of shit. Like, her resigning is not going to change that.
Yeah,
fact.
no.
Because look at all the little laws that they passed while we're all in lockdown. Like, you know, it's all the stuff that's unspoken on national news and stuff. So whether it's out of guilt or so she can go get married, well,
Were you shocked though?
no. I reckon should have to have no heart, eh? Have no heart to run again.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go up and try and buy back into the next election and have a smile on your face and go, you know, we're gonna fix the housing crisis, and we're gonna get rid of smoking, and we're gonna be VE our vehicles, like our electric EVs, and you know, it's just like, fuck. How about we sort the poverty shit first?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
And that's the thing, the priorities were all wrong,
100, bro.
How about you else? Were you shocked at the news?
You know, for her resigning, so basically, could you say that she quit on New Zealand? Could you say that?
I reckon she did, out of all the things that Let's Say reminded us of, the things she was going to do or said she was going to do, didn't go through with it. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
They're simply not done.
She did quit on New Zealand.
Man,
And I want some viewers that put shit in the comments, like, explain the vaccine stuff, explain the mandates. How are we gonna hold a whole country to say mandates? You need this, you need a vaccine pass, you need to do this, you need to do that, and then go, oh, but when it gets to that date, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, okay.
Because the worst thing about those mandates was that, you know, you got some families that were against the mandates, that didn't get vaccinated, that had to go through that suffering of being the ones pointing fingers at. You're the ones that are unvaccinated. You're gonna ruin this country and all that kind of stuff. Being judged and all that, and then coming out of that, and then next minute the mandates is gone.
Yeah.
And then how are you gonna feel when?
Sense.
But you know, I give it up to those families or those people that never got vaccinated, and families that never got vaccinated that went through with that shit.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't lose their jobs. Maybe they went through their jobs.
Lost friendships. Fell outside with family and all
What
that.
Exactly, that kind of stuff.
The businesses, all these businesses that went down.
What were the businesses that lost good key people that weren't vaccinated or weren't keen on getting vaxxed? Even though the data was based on data, not tested. Like, That's the best. That's the first red flag. Was like when people ask that, like someone at a press conference asked that, has the vaccine that we're rolling out and going to be used, has it been tested on people? She looked straight down the camera and said, yes.
What's funny? What's funny? Hey, I remember that time too. I remember that time. Like my belief was, if you got vaccinated, there was no way you're gonna ever get COVID, right? No way. And then next minute, that's on TikTok. Hey, my friends is not vaccinated, but my friend's vaccinated, but he's got COVID. So I'm like thinking, surely, what the,
The shit that annoyed me about the vaccine was the people who had the reactions to it. The ones that died, the ones that suffered like severe bleeding or had blood clots. That's the shit that annoyed the most, like out of everything that happened, because people like in the health sector that were saying, well, what will we explain to the patients that are fucking dying in front of us? Oh no, we don't know what it is. Fuck, they just got vaxxed like 8 hours ago. That's where it got all shady, man. Like, and that's when I stopped watching. Even like just hearing people's take on like, oh, all of a sudden you've been watching all the press conferences, you're a doctor now. Fuck. You can't even go like wash the windowsills of your house and you're talking about fucking all these vaccines, all this bullshit.
Yeah.
I got vaccinated because of my job, because there was a mandate. Mandate came out and that's what my job said. Like, can't have you if you're not vaccinated, so I had to get it. So that was the reason why I did it. If I had a choice, probably wouldn't have. Just went through it, because like I said before, man, those families that went through all that shit and come out of the mandates and still not vaccinated, man, still alive. Like, I can't imagine the stress they went through, going through all that, and then next minute the mandate's gone. It was like here, it was here, and now it's gone. It's like, fuck, if it's gone just like that, I mean, what the fuck you been putting me all that through the stress, worried about, and now it's gone. Now everything's back to normal. I'm like, fuck.
And like, don't forget, we went through the first ever lockdown in your lifetime, right? In my lifetime, your lifetime, we had lockdowns, man.
Yeah.
We had bubbles of 10. And like, I'm waiting for people to fucking attack me. Like, attack the fuck out of me. Because you know what? I worked through fucking every lockdown, man. I didn't have a fucking day off. I worked. Essential workers, we were the fucking one making it take over. And we were the essential workers, right? And it's like forgotten, eh? It's forgotten. But like, we still wear the scars of all that shit that happened. Especially all those families that lost loved ones during the lockdown. Like,
it's funny you said forgotten, because it's forgotten like how the dawn race was forgotten for a long time before.
And that's why I'm big on like, fucking, let's not sweep the shit under the carpet. Acknowledge it. Yeah. Let it register. Let all the archives, all the digital archives, save it somewhere and share it. And we're not sharing it because it's like, oh fuck, he's just trying to find a reason to hate on Jacinda. We're not hating on her personally, because it's a collective.
Yeah.
It's a coalition government. It's the whole lot of them, man. Like, they decided that this was the fate of people who wanted to like live and work in New Zealand. Go get the jab.
That part of her being prime minister, that mandate stuff was tough. That was I think she lost a lot of supporters during that time.
The MIQs was the biggest joke. That was the biggest fucking joke. Like, look at what Izzy decided to pack up and leave his shit and fucking go fight offshore. He didn't want a part of all this bullshit, because here was them trying to stand on, like, we're waving the flag for this country, and yet we have to fucking get in line because this MIQ bullshit, we can't just up and go. Like, people got short memories, man.
Yeah, man. I remember I had one of my cousins come from Australia, like, but he had to stay in what is it? In like, if you're coming from overseas, you had to stay. I forgot what they're called. You had to stay at a hotel.
The isolation.
Yeah, isolation things. So he had to stay in the hotel at the airport for 2 weeks, and then he flew down to Wellington. But see, like, then paying all that money just extra, it's crazy, man.
It's crazy. I was shocked when she announced it, because I thought she was gonna take the beating at the elections and lose, because I knew she was going to lose. I thought she was going to lose. I was just shocked that she announced her quitting the job before she gets wasted at the elections. But yeah.
But yeah, it's just hard to just ignore and forget all the stuff. Like, yeah, we can bring up all the stuff that she had to deal with as the Prime Minister, like the mosque shooting, all the stuff that happened with like the what was it, the outbreak, the measles outbreak. Like, yeah, that's all stuff that happened, right? But I was like, bro, we won't forget the other stuff that happened there.
Yeah.
Like the no people at funerals. Man,
That
it's
was
like
crazy.
the biggest shit and disrespect on people as a whole. You know, to have no family members at funerals. Like, when it got to that point, it was like, bro, you can't have a respect for the government, full stop. Like, there was no one fighting for it. No one fighting for it, except for the funeral homes, the funeral directors, man. Like, you know, that voice was so quiet for so long. You know, we were at a point like one person from your household of your bubble of 10 go out and do the shopping. You know, and fucking, I worked, bro. Like, I was working. I was that anal about it. This made up thing. I would go through the garage, take off all my clothes, return into my shorts, and wash my hands outside. And then I'd go inside without touching the door handles and wash. That's how hard I was doing it. Because in my head, I believed what they were saying.
Yep.
Up until they said, oh, it's airborne. Or like, nah, it's passed by skin contact. We had lines marked out on the floor. You were not allowed to talk to someone. You know? We were like that for like ages, man. And, you know, I was robbed of time with my mom. You know? I couldn't go and see her. I didn't want to take that if I caught something and take it into her house.
Yeah.
You know, this is what they chose to make us believe. So it's like, yeah, man.
Yeah. But for her stepping down, I'm like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you don't want to just, you know, like lose. If you're gonna lose, you know, the battle fighting or like, you know, being in parliament. Not like, oh, here I quit or I'm.
It's funny because I read all the comments afterwards and all the comments from people in social media and from like news people too.
Supportive,
but they always said the same thing. Like, man, like all those trolls that were trolling her and all the bad stuff said to her. And, you know, like, it's too much, man. She's got a family and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. She's human now. On a human level, it's like,
the
there's only so much noise that you can ignore, until they start going after the fiancé.
But fuck, that's part of the job, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That's part of the job. Like, look at Donald Trump. He doesn't care.
Yeah, would Barack Obama care? You know, probably not.
Shit. I remember I saw an interview ages ago and it always stuck with me. Hone Hardaway, he said he was asked the question, what's the difference between National and Labour? And he said, oh, that's easy. Difference between National and Labour: National stabs you in the front, Labour stabs you in the back.
But I tell you what, bro. You know, even though Mr. Bulky or Luxon says what he says a few pods ago, the ones who should be feeling disappointed right now and we're gonna be like the Broncos supporters, the fans, would be all the Labour government supporters.
Yeah.
Because now your Kappa King has just been like, okay, look, it's enough.
Yeah, man.
I quit, man. Like, it's piercing through, man. Piercing through.
Then what about John? Is it John Campbell? Oh, who was the fuck? I don't even know the
John
prime-
Key.
John Key.
Yeah, related, same family.
Yeah, right, man. That's two PMs in a row that have resigned before their time. You know, I could say, or anyone could say, John Key's one was probably not personal, but more business move.
He wanted to go on holiday.
More of a business move, I think. Like,
But she'll stay. But John Key, he fully removed himself from the caucus. Has Jacinda actually came out and openly said that she's just not going to run for this next election, but she's going to try and fight for her seat in her local electorate.
I don't know. From what I've talked to other people, not reading the news or anything, but it seems like she's out for good. Like, she might do a Helen Clark and work for someone else. Because, man, if you got a PM on your CV, man, you got heaps of
Any
job
job.
options around the world, man.
Well, I know my job's looking for some operators. If you're keen to come and load some cartons and drive a forklift, yo.
Speaking of trolls and bad comments, there's an article in the One News. Oh, not an article. There's a story on One News. It came out that 40% of Pacifica live in homes that are too small for their families. So we're talking families with mum and dad with 6 kids and maybe another family. So 2 families living in a 3-bedroom house. And apparently, according to the One News, 40% of us live in this type of situation. 65% of us rent homes, and 40% of us live in homes that are too small. Guys, got any thoughts on that? Because when I looked at that, when I first saw that news article, it was on Twitter, and man, just the amount of comments under that story and the amount of racist comments on that story just made me laugh, or just cracked me up, because it's like anybody that says this is not a racist country, just take your head out of your ass, man, because all you need is a story pointing out stuff, and you just all you gotta do is look at the comments, man. Just go scroll through the comments if you believe this country ain't racist.
I think the the stats are alarming. But the shift of how New Zealand families were back in the day has changed. You think mum and dad, 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl.
Yeah.
And then, or maybe 2 boys or 3 boys. But some of the people who come from big families, some of those people have carried on trying to have big families as well, because that's what they know, or that's where they come from. They're from a big family, so they wanna. And not everyone thinks having kids are blessings. They didn't believe in abortion, so every kid you have, it's hey, we're gonna raise this kid. But that it's the housing. Yeah, it is alarming, because you can only keep your kids small for so long before they outgrow the bed and the bedroom. That's a big. That's why a lot of Pacifica resonate with the garage, because it is the extra room.
Yeah.
And you say, Ken, it's why would you put a car in the garage when it's already got a roof? It's doesn't make sense, Because I grew up in the garage, man. It was if there's no room, if you're not sleeping in the sitting room, which is another room, it's it is another room.
Garage, yeah.
It's so you got 4 rooms, and then you add the garage, you pretty much got a 6-bedroom mansion, But yeah, I mean, if you look at it from the point of perspective, if you get to the islands, compared to a New Zealand basic home, it's a shack. It's just the upper posts. Be lucky if there's a couple lingies that block the wind. It's just a shack, and these are not even actual solid walls. That's where we came from, right? That's the life.
Yeah.
Back in the island. So when we come here, and we got 4 walls, multiply that by the 3 bedrooms you have, and the bathroom and toilet that's all under one roof. Fuck, you've made it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take those wins, man. That's just how we are. So when we're doing good here, it's in our culture and in our heart to be wow, you want to bring the gang over one by one, and so you work your asses off, send money home, and you bring your family over because you want to let them see the land of milk and honey. And then when they get there, I'm Kilo, it's too expensive to rent, and they're not entitled to stuff. So of course we're gonna end up living together, and then we're gonna try and help each other out. That's the way we look at trying to help each other out and get ahead. So yeah, whoever wrote that is clearly doesn't know. Yeah, it's clearly a monkey.
It's pa'alangi, bro.
It's pa'alangi.
A lot of the comments that came on Twitter was something around the lines. Most of them were all about stop having kids. Then. Having 6 kids is too many. What the hell?
And they're all the people that are shooting blanks, man. Hey, There's just come out inside the hole. It's nothing. Hey. Well, these guys have got this supposed to get straight through the undies. Eh?
Have you asked? What do you think?
It's because I've been like my growing up, I've had family members that have come and lived with us. You know, obviously if they've moved on to have their own families. So my mum, my parents' house in Ranui, that was like the staple. Like people came from over, her nieces and that. A few of them came over and lived with us. See, and I just remember staying in the sitting room, sleeping in the sitting room most of the times, and they had the bedrooms and that, it's. I think whoever wrote that, if they're not obviously if they don't understand like the island upbringing and especially back in Samoa or wherever island that people are from, they shouldn't speak on it because they don't and I think unless you've lived there and seen it with your own two eyes, but I think and it also depends on the individual, like for that guy that was on that clip that you said, like I think instead of maybe trying to if he's not getting any help, maybe just to try to do it himself, like get out there, get a hold of people. I'm sure there's branches like working income and that could housing New Zealand, instead of trying to that could help him with that sort of situation, because he's got a big family.
You know what you said about families coming into your house, stay there until they get on their own 2 feet and they go move on. That is the Polynesian story of New Zealand.
Yeah.
That is in the old days, because same thing with my dad. When my dad moved over from Samoa to New Zealand, he had an uncle that owned a house in Grey Lynn, so he stayed with them. And that house in Grey Lynn, that was the starting point for everyone back in Samoa. If they want to come to New Zealand, start a new life, they come to New Zealand, they stay at that house. And this house was packed full of my dad and my dad's sisters. Everyone stayed there. And then when they got a job and once they get enough money, they go and move on. And that's what happened to my dad. Like, he met my mom here in New Zealand, and they got together and they got their own house out here. So and then it was our turn to do that. So we had a garage in my house, and people, my mom's family, when they come from Samoa, they want to live in New Zealand, they come to our house. They stay at our house until they get on their own 2 feet, and then they move on. So it's just the classic story.
Yeah, it's funny. My cousins, especially my cousins, because my mom's nieces, because they were mainly my cousins that came from Samoa. There was only a couple of guys, but most of them were girls. My cousins, my mom's nieces. So as you grow up, because I remember I was probably like 8 or 9, right? And they were living with us, and our house was full of that. And I loved it when they were there because they would always cook, So I'm like, man, and I used to love my cousin's eggs, my cousin, But it's funny that you don't know until you when you're a teenager and you have a girlfriend and all that, right?
Yeah.
And then so I'm like thinking, so when I was little, I always asked my mom, where did my cousin Lima. Mom, where did Lima go? Because as a kid, when they're living with you, and the next minute you see this guy coming and they're having a talk of, my parents, and then I'm like, but then I, click later, that's, her husband now, and that's how, and I'm like, I thought they were gonna live with us,
man, because you're thinking about the eggs.
No, that's true though, man. Like, you're a birthright, man. Like, I had. Like, growing up as a kid, I never had my room until I was probably 18 almost.
I
got upgraded from the bedroom to the garage to one of the back rooms. And it was just me and my parents and one of my sisters home. But there's a true story, man. Like, my nana's brother came with his wife. Fuck, man. I just came for like a week. Man. Times that by 72. I mean, times that by 52 times 5.
oh man,
Yeah, man. They stay for ages, eh?
man.
Oh, I was like, bro. And like back in the day, man, my uncle was so hard up. Devotion, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Shit. I got headache. Trying to get out of that stuff every night mentally. But yeah, bro, when they came for a long time. They stayed a long time. So yeah, even to the point where my parents were sleeping in the sitting room, man.
Yeah.
They just did the rooms for them.
For the other visitors.
Hey, I'm glad my parents. But like, what I've learned from that though is like anytime like my in-laws come and like they come over home, I always want them to feel at home at our place, you know.
Yeah.
Because I want my kids to see it. You know, the wha'alo and the kausi ainga, like, if you didn't show your kids, then who's going to show them, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I want to show my kids that. Because I saw growing up, you know, it was like, oh, you know, make them something to eat or make sure they're all right, you know.
Yeah.
Before you get a bed, make sure they're all right. Tell them the towels, the clean towels and stuff like that, you know. You lovers. Because when I left home, my mum said, the 3 things you should know before you know, go and, you know, see your seeds. is learn how to do kanga mea. Make sure you got lovers and make sure you got blankets.
Yeah.
That's all you need. And that's, she's bang on, bro. Like my wife always be like, why you? Shh, it's not for you. It's if we have guests. And sure enough, you know, the drunk cousins come. Oh, sorry, cuz. Bro, cuz, just get over there, the blanket, you know, bro. Mattress over there. Good night. You know?
Yeah.
And that all made sense, bro. Because it's like, oh, I'll put my cousin's clothes or feed them in the, you know, if I man, then, oh yeah, because I'll put your clothes in the dryer. Sorted, bro, you know? And that's all you needed. That was all I needed from my mom. I was like, hey, make sure. Because, you know, the last thing you want is like, oh, you were missing for 2 days? Still smelling like a guy, still wearing the same pants and shit. It's like, damn. Oh, man. Back in the day, stories.
Hard, man.
Was that
That was like memory lane.
was that memory lane?
Yes. Sorry, I went off track there.
Put that under memory lane.
That's memory lane, bro. Nah, but that's us, man. That's our story, bro. That's probably why it resonates with us, see.
Yeah. But I just remember, all my mum's nieces. So, they've all moved on. They live in New South Wales now, in Sydney. So they live in Sydney, and then I got my other cousin. So she's like, 2 of them. They're married to Fefe Els in South Auckland, but they're in their 50s. So when they came here, you know, they were like in their teens when I was still a kid, you know. But like, you know, he's like, man, I used to love their food, eh? Bro, I know he thinks like that. Oh man, I kid, bro.
There's a story that Filippo he put up. He put up 2 actually. One about the martial arts expert. I don't even know this guy. Who's this guy?
No, I've seen him on TikTok. But he does. So his content is like that. He's it's like he wants conflict. I find his TikTok, man. Honestly, it's like he wants conflict, even though he's right in whatever he's doing. But it's like he wants the conflict, you know.
But is he like Steve Sitsu content, or is he just below that?
Oh, I know this guy can throw hands, you know.
Yeah. So what is he, like a full-on mixed martial artist? Like is he a trainer? Does he have a gym, or he's just someone who knows
I just seen him on TikTok, and his content is all sort of similar.
So his name is Stephen Rangi Elliott. He's 45. He's a mixed martial arts expert. He beat up a guy and a woman for an altercation they had about them calling him out as anti-vax.
This is in the Salvation Army store.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So he got sentenced on Tuesday.
What?
Yeah, for the assault.
They happened in September, eh? Something like that. What a spoon, man.
Unless they were fighting him first, then
he said
you
that
can protect yourself. Huh?
He said the guy threw the punch,
Yeah.
punched him in the face, and then he kicked his ass, and then the finger jumped in, and then he fucked her up too. That's what he said.
Man.
But like, if you're a jury, if you're sitting on the jury and you hear that come out of that guy's mouth or through the lawyers, right? Because everyone gets to see what they say. Like when they interview people, if they see, oh, and I fucked that bitch up too, then of course they're gonna get fucking locked that piece of shit up. Now the taxpayers paying for a piece of shit like that to go into a thing. There has to be a separation, right? Like, I think Sylvester Stallone talks about it in was a Tulsa King. He goes, before I went to prison, I was in jail. You know, so the jail was like the holiday camp, and then you go to prison. He said the prison was like survival. You know, so they should have that here in New Zealand. Where, like, say they got 800 like inmates, and then they got $400. Feed them. That's where that guy belongs, man. You gonna get beat someone up like that?
Yeah.
The husband and the wife. Fuck.
Now I can understand it for self-defense, but then you need to check the whole, like if he's still getting, like, if he's gonna get, go to jail. Obviously he's guilty, right?
I look at it like this: if I was Lolo Hemuli and I trained the guy like that, and he's an expert, if they say an expert, right? Lolo would not be proud of that. Hey, you'd be like, fucking hold yourself better, man.
Yeah.
You're clearly gonna fight someone. Like, that's like fighting a guy with no arms. Hey.
Yeah. Like,
that guy must feel really cool about himself. Really? Fuck, you're an idiot. What a piece of shit, man.
Oh,
yeah, man.
And then you even think about what they were arguing over. Is there something to just walk away from? Or?
Yeah. But even to be enticed like that, like if he punched him in the face, at least like put him in an armbar. I don't knock him out.
Yeah, or call the cops.
Not put him in an armbar and then go, you piece of shit. But like, surely. He had the intent to hurt.
Yeah, to injure.
And not give a shit. But that's fair. Poker of the week right there. Front runner. Because any expert, any expert in New Zealand, that serves, you get like a jail sentence, because it means you're trained to harm.
Oh man!
Like if you're a professional boxer.
I want to try find. I'll try find more content of him, because there was a few TikToks that I saw of him, and there was one I know down in the protests down in Wellington when the lockdown and all that.
All right. Well, he's going to jail, so there won't be any new content anytime soon.
Unlucky Stephen.
The old content.
Let's see if one there can give you the
The other post Filippo put up was a story about a kid that works at looks like a restaurant or bar in Australia. Anyway, he got docked 5 hours of pay and the reason why, because he was on his phone during work hours. He was on his phone, and they docked him 5 hours of pay. The boss gave him 2 warnings before that. Said, "Look, man, you can't be on your phone when you're at work. Got to do your work." And he didn't.
Listen.
He didn't. He was still on his phone that day, and they took 5 hours pay off him. Now, the boss is getting all this hate from social media, saying, "Man, just pay him his money.
What?
Pay him his money." So, what do you guys think about that?
5 hours, 5 hours. I mean, fuck. You're like, even if people don't walk in, fucking go wet the bar, top down.
Toilet seat or something.
I mean, don't stay in the one spot. Like, fuck. That's just parking stupid, mate. That's real parking stupid.
That's just if you there's ways you can use the phone without any cameras. Be smart. But if he's gonna get, I agree with the boss. If it was on his break, then use the phone. But if he's on the clock.
Yeah, on the clock.
Yeah, man. Nah, man. 5 hours out. If you're doing 40, that's 35 hours. You can still live.
Does it speak into the kids these days and their work ethic?
It does, man. I think it does. I mean, even in my workplace, but it's like that. People are always on their phones. But like,
they're working this.
Well, they're working, man. I mean, because it's all machines. But the way I look at it is like, bro, if the line ain't down, like if stuff's taking over.
Okay. Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
You can only clean so many things at the same,
Yeah. You just be sensible,
Yeah.
But if you're on it 5 hours, Yeah.
Well, I can be on that for almost more than 6 hours, but yeah.
I don't know if you guys watch Seinfeld, but you know George Costanza,
Yeah.
Is
his
it?
tricks.
Is it
the
the
short baldy guy.
glasses? Yeah.
His tricks for trying to look busy at work is you gotta walk fast, like walk fast, like wherever you do you work, you got nothing to do, just walk fast. Anyway, people think you're busy. Just walk fast. Or look worried. There's another one. Look worried, like scratch your head, look stressed out, because people think you're,
Yeah.
you're working.
I'm really good at that too, man. Like, fuck. Yeah, man. I even always want the camera to look at me like, dude, my King Shamrock arms.
Is there a camera on the floor?
Where we got cameras all over the place, man.
Man, and people still on their phones.
Yeah. But I mean, bro, if you're good at your job, bro, you can do it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, bro, if production's taking over,
Yeah.
what's the harm?
Yep.
But I think it's the I don't know, man. I think leadership and workplaces just need to take in consideration is like, if you really, so do you want us to waste water?
Yeah.
You know?
True. Yeah.
It's like, what's more important, the water on the floor and the clean? I mean, if it doesn't need to be done, like, do you want me to take the rubbish out and wash it? What's the priority here? I mean, I think a lot of the cases, the guys think that running is the priority, which is right. Like, making every bottle.
Yeah.
I reckon the boss should fire his ass, because there's also that work ethic. Like if you say you work and it's a shitty job, right? But what if you just work your ass off, and the boss knows that if you leave, or if the company's screwed because there ain't no other worker like you.
Yeah.
You got leverage on the boss, right? You can say, "Oh, I'm leaving." What?
Yeah.
You're my hardest worker. Oh yeah. Another pay raise, please.
Yeah.
Like what would it take for me to stay? If you get to that level of work,
Yeah.
that your boss or your company like values you, like that's gone. I think from kids these days. I think kids didn't understand the power of that.
I think it's the habits that people pass on to others too. Like when they come into a space and they see you like just got far on your thing, it becomes the norm to them. But it's like, bro, the difference between someone who's doing that, like, and it's the everyday thing, is that they can get things running smoothly. But when it goes to shit, like they won't be on their phone. But then other people, they just say, "Oh, that guy's always on his phone." But it's like, yeah, but there's a big difference between what you know and what you might not know.
Yeah.
See, people be like, "Oh, what the fuck? I don't know what to do." And you're like, "Oh, you can't complain about someone."
Go wash every cup, wine glass or whatever. There's always something you could do, I reckon. But
it should be in your what job description, eh? So I mean, if everything was done, and there's nothing else to do, well, then they sort of got the right to sort of just stand around.
It's interesting in the article because at the end, the boss actually had to come and clean in the weekend.
Yeah.
And the boss said it was 4 hours worth of work that guy should have done during his 5 hours on his phone.
Yeah, I think they both feel boggles, eh? There's the three of them and that other guy, yeah, all feel boggles, mate.
All right, moving on. Did you have a story for us or something?
well, it's just a funny story. So I went out to lunch to caught up with one of my cousins, my cousin Hazel. We haven't seen each other for a long time. We caught up today, and like we're talking. So because she's married to a Tongan guy, right? Tongan man. He flew over to Tonga because his brother passed away recently, right? And then she was sending. So she showed me this photo, like. She showed me a photo of, like, first of all, I just saw the leaves, right? I just saw leaves, and then I looked closer, and then I expanded the photo, and then you can see these little spikes, right? And then I was like, "Cuz, what are you trying to show me?" She goes, "Look at it." So So, okay, then she showed me another photo without no leaves, and it was a dildo, right? It was a dildo. So, because we were having a nice conversation talking about life, how is everything, blah blah blah, and then she decides to show me this photo of a dildo outside her house, and I'm like, cuz, where did you get your dildo from? She goes, no, it's not mine. It's the neighbor must probably throw it over, But for me, I just, her husband, so I'm like trying to do the math. Her husband was away, and we couldn't stop cracking up for ages. And I was like, come on, let me check your credit card, your transactions, cause, it was just funny that she showed me. It was a pink. So if anyone out there is missing a pink dildo, it's got spiky balls on it. Okay, my cousin Hazel's got it. Okay, love you, cuz. Nah, that was my cool story, guys.
Lydia, the food movie.
Oh, right. Mad shout out to my lazy workmate Fehi, and I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, to the bros that listen, man. Like, this guy, he's gone through a lot emotionally, and I can understand his energy and his point of view about just not giving a fuck, Just go out casually. Think about the most casual person and times it by 10. That's this guy. There's like zero fucks. True. He's like that. But yeah, he doesn't have an FPOS card, but he has PayWave on his phone. So we try to get McDonald's, and sorry, we're not ready to service. And then we're like laughing. We're like, how you gonna have a 24-hour McDonald's and not ready for service? This is in Mangere. So in the township, he tried the bakery, and this is the Mangere bakery. So everyone that knows the Mangere bakery that's in the township, this is the one closest to the McDonald's side and the dairy. And he said, "Sorry, they take it. Come." So we jumped in, man, and I said to the guy, "What's your known pie here?" And he goes, the steak and cheese and the potato top. And so we bought it. But we had a big feed, man. Like, he must spend like $45.
That's a feed.
So yeah, and the pies are a bit pricey, like $5.50. So I got the potato top. I had 2, and a piece of chicken, a kebab, and a ham and egg sandwich, and a nice can of Red Bull.
That's a feed.
Bro, what I loved about this pie, man, the structure was sick, held nice. The first bite, you know what the bite reminded me of? Was it Target Bakery up in Te Atatu? It had that taste of mince. But the made was separated that, like head to head of that one, was the creamy potato. So like, the one down in Glen has that nice cheese topping. Well, this bread was just creamy, and I was like, Shana, this is thicker. And he goes, yo, he goes, I'll get you another one. I was like, in my head, I was like, nah, fuck that. It's Saturday is fair. He goes, Shana, I'll give you another. Fuck, he got me another one. And I was like, round 2, man. I was like, damn. But that's a spot, bro. Like, legit, So big ass to the Mangere Bakery, man. Like, fuck. I'm going to be a bias because the second one wasn't as good as the first. It was probably because of the bake. The time it went in was like the crust was a bit hard. But man, that went together like a gem, man. Right. And of the South ones that I have tested, like the Hollywood Bakery, the bacon and egg I had then, fuck yeah, this one was smashed, that one. So I'd give it like a 4.5. Ooh. Generous 5 on a good day. It was worth the gas, it's worth the gas, but not only if you're out south. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that freaking solid pie.
To the airport.
So yeah, I'm gonna go back and try the steak and cheese because the docs, man, he just eats slow. Like he literally only got halfway through her steak and cheese pie. Fucking, I was already starting the second pie, man. But yeah, it was a good one, But I put that head to head with like upper crust. So I had an upper crust pie the other day, potato top, and it was a messy.
Oh yeah.
And I remember having one from the Newland shop, and I had one in West City just the other day. But yeah, it was a mess, man. I'd give it like a 3 out of 5. Yeah.
How much does the potato top cost?
$6.50. Oh, $6.50. Yeah. So
how much are potato tops normally?
$5.50 now.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Do they always cost more than normal pies?
I think that's the base price because when we went in, like, I was like, bro, this is gonna be expensive for you, eh? But the bro was like, Kaishan, say be. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go get another one. But yeah, that's the Mangry Bakery in the township, man. They potato top pie, eh?
Right.
4.5 out of 5.
You know, if you're on a budget, if like say if you had $20, but you know if you went to a millionaire's bakery, you only get like, you know, like 2 pies and a sausage roll or whatever with it, right? Are you like, because I'm budget, right? And I want, so this is bakery in you know, Pucks Road. There's a bakery next to the cookie house. So they only do their highest paid price pie is $4. Yeah, but you know it's $4, but the meat is, you know, not it's like half of a good, you know, a good pie. But if I'm hungry, man, I'll get like $20. I'll go straight there. Just on the budget.
Well, what was it, the Baker Boys out in Territory South, Roberts Road. Like, if you go on early enough, they got like day before sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and man, they always have like an egg. I just gotta love like egg sandwiches there.
Hey, yeah, nah, man.
Yeah,
some of the bakeries have some.
I usually buy
ones.
like the 3-pack of those. But yeah, if I want a budget $20, I'll get a 3-pack of that to $7, and then I'll get a steak and cream cheese pie, which is $5, and then I'll get a kebab.
Oh,
So it comes to like $13, $14. Yeah, I wouldn't even buy a drink, man. I'll go sit in the car, just eat. Wait, if I'm still hungry, round 2. But I gotta say, man, when I did the last, so I hadn't had a pie. It was like my first pie all year. And I saw a homeless guy sitting outside the shop. So,
Mangadi.
Cheratu.
Oh yeah.
It's like people probably recognize him, man. He's got like clean shave. Oh, he's not clean shave, but he's got like balangi. He's like always wearing like pants, like he's going on a hike. I just had to ask, man. So I went and bought my steak and cream cheese pie, and I offered it to him. And a little bit of my heart didn't want to offer it because I hadn't had a cream steak and cream cheese since like November. But then he goes, "Oh yeah, bro, I'll take it." So I gave it to him, and I sat down with him. And I, she had breakfast with him, and we were just talking. And I said to him, "What's going on, man? Like, why are you sitting out here so early in the morning?" You know the first thing he said? He said, "Oh man, my life turned to shit. I didn't have my daughter anymore." I was a bit blown away. I was like, what the fuck? Like, in my head. So I just let him carry on talking. And I said, "Where did you come from?" And he's, "Oh, just down the road." And I go, "I always see you walking." He's, yeah. He said he's got a funny ear at the back of the Trust Stadium. See, that's where he resides. But I was like trying to like talk life to him, man. I was like, bro, the fact that you walked all the way from down the road here, all the way here to have a feed, says that, but you're not ready to like just chuck your life in, bro. Like, bro, any day above the ground is a good day.
Yeah.
Like, legit, man. Like, wake up, bro. Like, you know. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, and I've also been depressed." And I go, "But you were that depressed to come walk all the way from the Trust up to Roberts Road?"
Right.
And he's, "Oh, depression knows, does it, like, depression knows hunger." And I go, "Well, think about it, man. Like, if you're alive, bro, like, work, you know, get yourself out of the slump, man, you know." And I saw him the next day sitting there, bro. But in my head, it's like, man, sometimes you see people like that, like, you know, it might be like something small, but just sitting down, just having a yarn with him, because he said, yeah, it was just amazed. Because if I had my clippers on me, I would have given him a haircut. But I just thought to myself, man, you know, it's quite big of someone to sit there with a little sign, you know, ask for help like that.
Yeah.
And I know Eric says, like, "Oh, you know, you buying them a pie is not gonna fix them. You know, they probably need more help." But I just thought, hey, just let this guy talk. So I had a good lasagna and a chicken cordon bleu and a ham and egg sandwich while this guy was eating the pie. But yeah, it was pretty sad. But I was like, at the same time, it's like, man, bro, you're alive, bro. You're alive, man. Like, you should be doing everything to want to get back in your life and stuff. Because he said his parents sort of sided with his missus. The missus made accusations against him. And then, you know, the family court pretty much just said, you didn't have custody of her anymore. But just hearing them, bro, I'm like, so I just finished a 12-hour shift, man, and I was looking forward to having that pie. But I gave it to you. Get your stuff together, mate. Next time I come back, I'm going to give you the kebab. So I still haven't had a steak and cream cheese from the Baker Boys yet.
Oh man, I'm gonna go pay that place a visit.
Well, you know, it's funny because he said to me, "Oh man, I really appreciate you sitting down and actually sitting down with me and having a conversation." I'm like, brother, pray, man. It's free. You know, it doesn't cost to talk. Like, just pray, man. Like, I believe in prayer. And I
Yeah,
hope that you can, you know, just have a word with the Lord or the higher powers just to, you know, help you out, man. Like, you know, then beat you down. Like, you're alive, bro.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I appreciate that, man. But then before I walked away, he goes, hey, bro, what was that pie? Steak and cream cheese. Man, that's a different one. Hey, I can see. So, yeah, I'm glad that he, you know, so
enjoyed it.
yeah, bro. Because I've had a few people that have never had the cream cheese. And they'll just be like, oh, damn. What's that cheese? Well, steak and cream cheese, man. Baker Boys. Set
I'll
this up.
play that place to visit.
All right. Ciao, boys. I was going to take us out with last words.
Oh no, not. Oh, oh no, not just yet. One of the Usos passed away a year ago, a couple of days. Still, you know, the memories of him still clear in my head. Yeah, just be, yeah, you know, what it says, always, you know, just be grateful if you're above ground, you know, and you're breathing, be grateful, make the most of the time spent with your loved ones. Yeah, and just, yeah, if you wake up every morning, it's a blessing. Yep, that's me.
Oh, last words. Alright. If I had something written. Just the just to everyone that does tune in and listen. Thank you for the feedback. It's nice to have a few comments on the YouTube, and especially to those who private message in and give us encouragement just to put these pods out there. Like we aren't media trained, and we, you know, what we say on here, we don't retract. We don't unapologetic, and this is just simply from my own point of views. But I just wanted to share with you guys that there might be in two minds about ticking stuff off, and I think the less you procrastinate and overthink, maybe just reach out to people who you think you need to help you move towards your goals. I've noticed that since being on here, I felt all this energy to sort of push us to get stuff done and move into the second phase in this new studio. And I'm in both feet, and I love the drive, I love the motivation, I love the yarns. I actually look forward to it. So like a sense of belonging for myself is like, bro, you know, like I've said, man, I'm looking forward to getting some new merch, some new gear. And that only comes about because you gentlemen here, and also Eric. So like to a lot of people, man, that are just thinking about doing stuff, man, like don't wait. Like that's the last thing you want to do is wait. You know, because not everyone's promised tomorrow. But yeah, living for also Isaiah, and very like I said to Ken last week, bro, he'd be proud. He'd be proud how heavy and how far the back of the 135 and the WESWES network and how much noise you guys are making. Because it's evident that, like, you know, something that started in the garage is making the news. It's making Australian news. And that's something to be proud of, man. Especially projecting Ranui. I love that. I love that we're West Ranui. If we two to the death. But yeah, just love being part of this pod. I love being able to share and leave a digital archive for my family and my kids. I love that we can just kalangoa. No judgment. Except for the keyboard warriors. But just to Jacinda doing, man, for the service and all that. But yeah, ele ngalo mengo kupu during these times, and like maybe I might get over one day, but until then, yeah, happy life, yeah. That's it from me.
Yeah, Wednesday came around, and we had to just recognize it's been 1 year since Doso passed away, and man, just all those memories kept flooding back on that time when I was there. You called me early in the morning, and I still remember what you said. Even I felt like it was a joke, so I was just texting that guy the night before, and then I just remember in my head, oh, you're not lying. You're just joking. You're joking, right? You're just joking. And then you're saying, nah. He's, you're telling me that I didn't believe it, man. Then we went over the hostel, but man, just that memory of all of a sudden, and then we had 1 year to just think about it, and for me anyway, like for what Isaiah has done for me and the podcast. Like me, I always talk about it. Like I'd always talk about my anxiety of getting out there. Like always worrying about what other people think. Especially people that we know from school, or even though we don't even talk to anyone, anymore. But I still, in the back of my mind, always feel like, I don't want to do anything because I'm worried about what what anyone thinks. Family or friends or people we used to know. Or from school days or anything like that. So I'm always on the edge. But man, after what happened last year, when Isaiah went on his journey, just like you said, I was like, that's life, man. It can be here 1 minute and then it's gone. What are you gonna show for it? What are you gonna do for it? No time to be worrying about what people think. And I think that was a big thing for me, like moving on from my anxiety of worrying about what people think. Just remembering, man, like even when I do a post, on social media, like I'm always thinking, oh, should I press send? That kind of thing, and I'll stuff it, just do it, I have to get over that kind of stuff, and I think, with Isaiah passing and just me thinking that side of things, like 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're gone. What do you got to show for it? Are you gonna be happy if you're in heaven looking down and you're gonna be happy for what you did, or are you gonna be saying, man, I wish I went harder, I wish I went 100%, because who cares, it's not for anyone else, it's for you and the people that are around you and all that. So yeah, I think as far as moving on and what our goals are for the WESWES network, I reckon at the back of my mind that was a big barrier, just to get out there. And it's 2023, man. Gonna get out there. So saying that, let's get the fuck out of here.
WESWES to the world.